Okay, there we go. Hi everyone. It's been a hot minute. I've had the flu. And holy Dinah, has a lot been going on. So it's 2025 now. And I sure would like to do a thing with y'all where it's called things. Oh, that's way too big. Hold up. There we go. Oh, I'm sick. Yeah. Things I've learned in 2024. Woo! Okay. So, last year was a hot mess. Because, actually, you know what? I kind of want this like a peachier color. There. Like that. Sure. Okay. No, the wrong brush. Okay. Here we go. Last year was a hot mess. My marriage ended, which is fun. I spiraled hard. And I'm going to admit to some things here that I would probably not admit to anybody else, but since I'm certain almost nobody is going to be watching this, I feel comfortable, telling y'all about the hot mess that last year was. So, and this might be like, a hot, like, dump it to crumpet situation where you've got like here is like the starting point and here is the end point, and then it should just be like a whoop, but what it's actually gonna be is a ding 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 ding. So it's probably gonna be like that, just so you know. So the first thing that I learned is that heartbreak sucks balls. It's really hard when so my marriage ended, and he was truly an amazing husband for the first 6.5 years. It was really the last 6 months that were just really terrible. And my friends pointed out that even though it felt like I wanted to get back together with him, and if he asked me to get back together, I'd probably say yes. One of my friends told me, she's like, okay, but he's been hella toxic for the last 6 months. Do you really, he's shown his true colors. Do you really want to go back to that toxicity? And just realizing that old relationship that I'd had was completely over. That was really just, it cuts you to the quick, man. Something that was so good is now over, and it's something that you never thought would be over, especially when, in front of 100 people, they promise to love you forever, and then you realize that forever isn't as long, or forever is too long for them, so they want out. Because, oh God, in that last, especially 3 months, I tried so hard. I did everything that was asked of me to, keep this marriage going, but he just was not wanting any part of it. And Just realizing that there was nothing I could do, the hopelessness, the heartache, the loneliness. It was just, and it seemed like everything I did was the wrong thing. Because we're very different people. When he's upset, he keeps it inside. He keeps it close to the chest, and then when I'm upset, I have to talk to people about it, because I need I need that perspective, that outside perspective, because if I stay in my own head, I'm gonna go absolutely batshit crazy. So we were, like, I see it now, how we are very, very different people. And even though we have some things in common, the core things that we should have in common, we don't. So, yeah, that kind of made it difficult to repair things. And when he decided he did not want to repair things, that really sucked. And unfortunately, I think, I mean, in the end, it was for the best, because, I mean, where I am now, lessons I've learned, I would never have learned had I stayed in the marriage. Okay, so that was number 1. Heartbreak sucks balls. Okay, number 2. It's okay to go through it. I mean, as long as you're being safe, which I was not. Holy Dinah, did I ever go through it? Because I just felt so unwanted and unlovable. And so, full disclosure, what I did, I slept around a lot. I was super promiscuous, and I mean, luckily, nothing happened. I didn't contract anything, or I didn't accidentally get pregnant or anything like that, but I did sleep around a lot, and it unfortunately took me many a dude to realize that, well, I mean, it'll be one of these. But it took me many a fella before I realized that this is not working. And unfortunately, when you're going through it, you kind of have to experience it before you can know that this is not the thing that you want. Oop, that was really bad. I'm going to just get rid of that one. Because, like, when you're going through it, your vision is clouded, you're hearing, you don't hear what people are telling you. And it's kind of like a live you learn thing, where you don't know until you know. And it took me a long time to realize that this was not fulfilling, and it was not fixing anything. It was a Band-Aid. It was like a temporary relief type of a thing, where, yes, somebody wanted me, but only for a time. And when they left, or when I left, I was back to square one. And so, yeah, like, it's okay to go through it, and you have to go through it so that you know what works and what doesn't work, and what is good and bad. And yeah, sometimes you're gonna fuck yourself over, but it's okay to make mistakes. And when you're hurting, especially when you're hurting, it's okay to make mistakes, because you don't know, and you're so vulnerable, and you're going to make mistakes. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, is what I'm trying to say. You have to go through it to know, and it's okay to make mistakes. I'm gonna add that right in here. It's okay to make mistakes, because this is part of it. Oops, nope. I can talk at the same time as I'm writing. To make, there we go, mistakes. Haha. All right, the next one. Oh, so we got so far we've got heartbreak sucks balls. It's okay to go through it. What else did I learn last year? I learned that, and I'm very sorry, I'm about to rip one into a whole gender here. It's that men on the internet suck. like really, really, like, what is wrong with you? Like, okay, so I'm probably gonna lose some people here with this, but that's okay. So during this time, I spent a lot of time on like Tinder and Bumble and Plenty of Fish and Boo and like literally every dating app. I was on it. And what happened was I'm still here. I figured out, like, there's some things that, like, immediately now having gone through it, I know now what to look for in a dating profile, what is a red flag immediately and what is not. So let me share some things that I've learned. And this is just my opinion, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You can leave or just skip over this part. But so if a guy is doing that pose where he's like crouched down like this, and he's doing like the the peace sign. If he's doing that, that's a no-go for me, friendo. Any guy that is posing in front of a car, so you usually get like, I don't know, here's a car. There, so you get a car, then you get a guy, and he's usually like he's got his arms crossed, and he's like this, and then one foot's like that. That is a heckin' no-go for me, friendo, because you know that his entire personality. So for the first guy that is crouching with the gang sign, his entire personality is that he thinks he's a gangster, and he thinks he's a straight up G, and sorry, my dude, that's a no-go for me, because like that's your entire personality, and that's not enough. The guy with the car, his entire personality is his car. So if you take his car away, he's got nothing to talk about, and he's that's it. Any guy that has a fish in his picture, or several fish pictures, then like that's all he is. He fishes and he drinks beer, and that's it. And that's not good. So any of those is just an immediate swipe to the left, like an immediate left. Because like I don't need that. I need something more substantial in my relationships. So there's that. and then, you've got, like, your regular red flags, like, they live at home and they're 36, or, they're in theater, gross. Like, that should have been my first tip-off right there, is, like, the theater thing, but, like, I mean, it'll be in another one of these, but, like, it's just, like, but the thing about, so men on the internet suck, is what I'm trying to say, but the thing about meeting people on the internet is that that's the only way you meet people now, because you can't walk up to somebody in real life and just start talking to them. They'll think you're a fucking sociopath, so you can't do that anymore, and that sucks. So, you need to, like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, the shitty thing about finding somebody is that you have to do it on the internet. And the shitty thing about the internet is that it's like looking through a needle in a haystack. And the unfortunate thing about finding that needle in the haystack is that you have to go through a lot of hay. And that's not cool. All right. The next thing that I learned was my self-worth. And I realized I'm worth more than a shitty relationship where I'm settling a lot. And I've got a story to tell you. So, hold on, settling. Okay, so, I thought I was ready for a relationship. This was in December, and my marriage ended in February. Like, not ended. We separated in February, and so this was in December of the same year, so 2024. I thought I was ready for a relationship. I was not, because my immediate, like, even in the beginning stages of this relationship, I was like, I think I'm better off alone. But as the relationship kept going, much faster than I wanted it to, even though I asked him to dial it down to a 7. I told him, we're operating at an 11. I need to dial it down to a 7. And he said, okay. This was after 10 days of dating. He asked if he could introduce me to his family as his girlfriend. When I was supposed to go to his family's Christmas party, which should have been my first, but it was not. And, I'm on paper, I'm like the perfect person for like a predator because like I'm in my 30s, I live alone, I'm getting divorced, like I'm sad and depressed. So like on paper, I'm the perfect person. And I think this is where it was going. Like, I don't know for sure, because when I broke up with him, spoiler alert, I broke up with him. When I broke up with him, he was cool about it. And that's probably because I lied and I said I wasn't ready for a relationship. Because you can't really go about breaking up with somebody and saying, I'm sorry, I'd like to break up with you because of everything about you. So, he was a theater person, and that should have been my first tip-off. And he tried to make me see that there was more to him than just theater, but he was eccentric at best. He was very pushy into getting me in his life, like inserting me into his life and inserting himself into my life. Like, he was of the opinion that because I was meeting his family, I should be introducing him to my family. And I thought that was hella fast. So 11 days after our first date, I went to his family's Christmas party, and he introduced me as his girlfriend, and I really liked his family. Like, his family was really nice. And his mom was like just the most glorious woman I've ever met in my life. Like she's really something. I'm a little bit sad that I'm never gonna see her again. But so he was pushy, and even though I asked him to dial it down to a 7 from an 11, he did not. And he ended up meeting my family. And when he met my family, I thought it was really weird. Like, he met my extended family before, like, my immediate family. And I thought it was really weird because he, I don't know, he was like a totally different person with my family than he was with me. And everyone was like, oh, he seems really nice. And I'm like, that's nice, but I don't know who this person is. Like, this isn't the person that I've been dating. And then, and then a thing happened where my grandpa was dying, like literally on his deathbed. And he came to the hospital, even though I told him that's probably not a great idea. And then he was there and for my grandpa dying, and everyone's super mad at me because they thought I invited him to come to the hospital to see him die. And I did not. And I didn't know how to say that I didn't. And when I tried to, people didn't believe me. So that happened, and everybody's mad at me. And then he met my immediate family again at Christmas. And at Christmas, he told me he loved me, which was way too fast. And I'm like, I asked for a 7, we're up at a 15 now, and I don't like that. I didn't say that. I probably should have. But yeah, and then I saw a thing that he did where he had ordered pizza on an app, and the app had deleted his order for some reason, but it was clearly an app problem. But he was yelling at the pizza store staff like it was a them problem. And I tried to tell him, like, I think this is an app problem, not a store problem, and he was not listening to me. And he just yelled at the staff. And as we were leaving, he said this like a flex, and it just set off all kinds of alarm bells in my head. And he said, I'm going to get everybody in that store fired. I'm like, why are you flexing that you're going to ruin several people's lives? Like, that's not right. And then that night as well, we were with his friends, and we were talking, and one of them asked how his saving for a house is going, and he said good. And then he told me that he was gonna buy us a house to live in together. And that was just like, just red flags, so much, just, oh my God. And that was the exact moment that I knew because before I knew I had to break up with him, but I didn't know when. And then when he said this, I was like, it's tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. And it did. And he was cool about it, except he never showed up for the in-person dumping. So I dumped him on the phone because I gave him a chance to do it in person, and he failed. So there's that. And then I found out from a friend of mine whose friend worked with him at a different company, found out that he somehow got the contact info for all of the female staff at that place, and harassed them to go out with him, even encouraging several to cheat on their boyfriends with him, which is not cool. So I dodged a bullet for sure. And one of my friends who was saying that, she used to be in an abusive relationship, she was saying that it sounds like he was trying to groom me to be in an abusive relationship, because, it just seemed like that's what he was doing. So I really dodged a bullet on that one, and I'm just worried for the next girl, All right, next, the last thing that we learned this year. So out of all of this, what I've learned is, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, is that it's probably going to be okay. I've learned so much about myself in this last year that I've learned that I'm stronger than I thought I was. I've learned that I can take care of myself better than I thought I could. I have learned so much about myself in this last year. I have grown so much in the last year, and if my ex-husband had never have left, I wouldn't have known this. I would have stayed the little miniature child that I was before. And what's really shitty about life is that sometimes shitty things have to happen for you to get better and for you to grow. Because if you don't struggle, you don't improve. It's a Magikarp Gyarados type situation. If you don't put Magikarp through some shit, it's never going to evolve into Gyarados. And I feel like in this last year, I have evolved into my Gyarados. And honestly, I am thankful that I've been able to do this. I've learned, that I can take care of myself, and I can, I can do things, I don't need to rely on people as much as I thought I did. And so, honestly, in a weird way, I'm thankful that I had to go through this, because the progress I've seen in myself is worth it. I have now more self-worth than I ever did in my marriage, and that's thanks to having to learn to live on my own, to be on my own, and to realize, especially because for a long time I thought my self-worth was tied to if I had somebody that loved me. And it's taken all of this for me to realize the only person I need to love me is me. And that, I don't know, that just feels so empowering to me. I don't I don't understand how I functioned before, thinking that I need a person. And maybe I can thank this shitty relationship right here, for me understanding that. But I just think that if I didn't go through all of this garbage, then I would not know right now that A, I don't need a man to have any self-worth. B, men suck and I don't really need one to be happy. And that I am in control of my future, and if I want to be an illustrator and if I want to be a children's book author, I can do that if I want to. I just have to do it. And the amount of things that I've done in the last year that I didn't think I could do has taught me that I can do it. I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. And I hope that if you've gotten to the end of this, that you realize that it's that, like, through my ding 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 dump it to crumpet situation that I've got going on in my brain here, I hope you realize that you can do it too. Because if me I am the least qualified person to be giving advice, but if I can do it, you can do it. And I know that's so cliche, but I didn't think I could do anything. But as it turns out, I can do whatever the fuck I want to. And I hope you do whatever the fuck you want to too. I mean, apart from like murdering people or becoming like a child predator or something, like anything good that you want to do, go and do it. It's 2025. If you're not going to do it now, when? So if I'm going to go on this journey and be better, come and be better with me. Let's do it together. I'm going to try and post more things like this, but with like better drawings. and we're going to do it. We're going to kick 2025 in the ass, and we're going to show it that it's our bitch. That's what's going to happen. All right. So, enough of that, I think. All right. Till next time. Bye.